Hi everybody, it's Pete Werner coming to you from our studio here in Orlando, Florida. For the last 6.5 years, I've had a countless number of our listeners tell me that they would love nothing more than to get a chance to sit in the studio while we recorded a show. Well, here's your chance. From the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, you're watching the video edition of the Diz Unplugged. Hello everyone and welcome to a sneak peek of the video edition of the Diz Unplugged. From Orlando, Florida, I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Corey Martin, Julie Martin, Kevin Close, and John Magi. Of course, back on the controls, Dustin West. And as I said, this is a sneak peek of our video edition, and we have here the original 5 members of the round table, minus, of course, Bob Varley, who is always here with us in spirit. And I will tell you that if Bob were here right now, he would be going out of his mind. This was something that he always wanted to do. He actually envisioned doing something like this long before we even started the podcast.
If Bob were here, we'd have hair and makeup.
Exactly. Well, okay, I'm not going to touch that. So this is something that we have been working on for a while now. And we are finally ready to announce it. And you may hear some background noise, meaning the neighbors' dogs, that for whatever reason, we don't have a problem with them during most shows. But of course, we're doing this, and they're back there barking. And she's not home. She leaves her dogs out. And soon I will name her and let her be mocked publicly for doing that.
You know, since this is the first time we're recording, I'm being videoed. I'm wondering if we're just gonna watch this 3 years from now, like we listened to that first show we did.
Yeah.
And just, oh, look at us. We were so uncomfortable.
Why, are you uncomfortable? I'm not uncomfortable.
Well, no, it's just we're used to being videoed, but at live recordings, not in the studio. It's
right.
Kind of interesting.
Not so close up.
Yeah.
We're sitting in different spots. We're sort of positioned a little different than usual, but this is like those people who had a problem when high definition came in. Really.
And this is actually going to be in high def.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad I'm growing a second mole on my face.
Every imperfection will be seen by everyone.
Exactly.
But I want to go over some of the highlights of what we'll be doing with the video show. First of all, the first one of these will be going up on February 5th. That's a Tuesday. And the reason it will be going up on February 5th, a Tuesday, is because we're going to be streaming these live via live stream. Let me switch to that. I'm not ready. I'm still getting used to all this.
Live as in unedited.
Live as in unedited. We will be coming through live stream on DizUnplugged.com. You just go to DizUnplugged.com. There'll be a player there on the homepage, and you'll be able to watch our show being recorded live.
Let's take a vote. Who's going to have trouble with the live recording? Should we just all point fingers?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. But there was something that we kind of debated back and forth, and we thought that we have the ability to do it. We've been doing some testing with it. It's working really well. I say that now. You watch February 5th. It won't work. But yeah, we're going to be streaming the show live, and so we're kind of excited about that. We're also going to be able to bring in special guests via Skype, or via video Skype. Like right now, we have Tom Bell. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Pete?
Good. Tom, of course, host of the Diz Unplugged Disneyland edition, which is not ready for video yet, are you, Tom? But
it's like not being ready for prime time.
Yeah, no, we can't see each other when we record, and we kind of like it that way. Makes us nervous to see each other.
Now, Tom, you just got done filming some stuff with Disney for the holidays.
Yeah, I was down there, and I got to film an interview with Santa Claus up on the roof of Elias and Company department store, which was kind of fun.
That was
I also
cool.
got to talk to Mater, which was kind of awkward.
That was a little awkward, yeah.
Talk a little bit about the Buena Vista Street and listened to the new Buena Vista Street Community Bell Ringers, which was kind of fun.
It was cool. It had some great videos made for that. And now this is, of course, Cars Land's first Christmas, so to speak.
Yes.
How did everything look?
I'm sorry, say again?
How did everything look in Cars Land for Christmas? This is the first year they're doing it.
Cars Land's awesome. Each character in Cars Land has their own special Christmas tree. Flo's is basically a stack of oil cans. Luigi's Flying Tires, they just kind of decorated their stack of tires with horrible garland and lights. Cozy Cone has a stack of cozy orange cones shaped like a Christmas tree. It's all car related. The garland that goes across the street is oil air filters, different shaped air filters
cool.
with a big, huge wreath that's a white wall tire.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Nice.
Nancy did a show a couple weeks ago and talked about everything in Cars Land, so go back and listen to that. It's really great.
And of course, you can check out Tom and the rest of the team on the Unplugged Disneyland edition. You can subscribe to them on iTunes and check them out on the show notes page, podcast.wwinfo.com. You can also check out the videos that we were talking about that Tom did on our YouTube page. And you can see Tom's uncomfortable, awkward interview with Mater, Santa Mater. And yeah, that was the audio coming from that was Mater's audio was like terrible.
I couldn't stand to watch it yet, so it was just weird because, not to ruin the magic, but Mater doesn't talk live, so you got to ask certain questions.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Well, really, why? They've done the interactive character thing before. I wonder why they didn't do that with.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
With that, I was wondering. I'm like, Mater get hit in the head or something?
Yeah.
He's like kind of not answering your questions, and then he is. It's weird. But all right, Tom, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Just kind of showing off the video Skype capability that we'll be using as we do these shows. One of the other things we're looking forward to is going to be being able to bring in video segments from special events that we do. For example, we just did the grand opening of the new Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom. So we've got a little bit of something to show you from that.
Hi everyone, I'm Corey from the Unplugged, and welcome to the new Fantasyland. One thing about Disney events, it's not only the drinking, it's not about the atmosphere, it's the food. I think I've already had my weight in lobster, shrimp, and scallops. And I'm not done yet. I'm going back. They bring food out, I'm gonna keep eating. This is the tuna I had at lunch that day, and it was awesome. Oh, they're gonna have to wheel me out of this event.
I've loved dragons all my life. Are you kidding?
That was incredible.
And listen, it's the first time I've seen him. I was excited.
First time you've seen him, really?
Absolutely. Are you kidding? He shot fire? I've been chasing this guy for like months.
That was awesome.
Months.
Hello everyone, we're at the Test Track Celebration Party, and I'm picking up where I left off last night. I'm still eating. I'll probably eat my weight in beef tenderloin, lamb chops, some grilled asparagus, and some potatoes. So hopefully I don't get too full to ride the ride, but I'm still doing it regardless.
So we're also going to add another dimension to our shows, and while we're recording the live broadcast, we're going to be able to take your comments and questions via our Diz Unplugged Twitter feed, and be able to kind of hear what you have to say and respond to you if we want to, which sometimes we will and sometimes we won't. But we're very excited about this. This has been, like I said, this is something we've been working on for a while, and you know, we really wanted to make it special, make it a little different, and still keep our show intact, and then be able to bring this element into it. And I think it's going to be cool. I think doing them live is going to be challenging and fun. And like you said, yes, I'm the one that's going to have the problem. So that is what's coming up, starting on our February 5th. On February 5th, the live stream, and of course February 6th, the regular show goes up. And I just want to make a point of letting everyone know that nothing is changing with our audio show. That's still going to go up just the way it always has. This is just something we're doing in addition to that. So the live stream of the show, February 5th, dizunplugged.com at 1 p.m. And I hope you're as excited about that as we are. So with all that said, let's get started with our show. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our team: Julie Martin, Corey Martin, John Magi, and Kevin Close. And oh yeah, me. Thanks, people. Have to get our Madonna headsets on. Did you enjoy that? I am so excited that we're going to be doing the shows like that. These guys are nervous as could be because they know me. If you guys could see what I say really on the show. So I'm going to have to practice some restraint once we're streaming live. But welcome, everybody, to Podcast Cruise 4.0, our fourth one. And our first 7-night podcast cruise. I think this is the wave of the future for our podcast cruises, just not the Western Caribbean. I would just rather do Eastern. This is my third Western this year, and I'm so over Mexico, I can't begin to tell you. But really, it's been a great week. Again, another phenomenal job done by John and his team.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As always. What do we have for housekeeping? I know we have a few housekeeping things.
Yeah, a couple things I just want to make sure people are aware of. If you're riding the Diz Dreams transportation back to either the resort or the airport, we're going to board the buses at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So please make sure you're outside and ready to go at 9 o'clock. We're going to be in the location usually where the buses drop you off, which is the outside of the fence. But Kevin will be positioned outside the terminal to help people along, and then Kathleen and I will be at the buses and make sure everybody gets on in your Disney Point. Do you want to do that?
I can.
Okay.
I want to say some thank yous. First, to Leah Zanola, our senior editor on the Diz, who does such a fantastic job. She's a one-woman show keeping that content up to date. She does such a great job. Her and her family are here. I want to make sure we say thank you to her. We also want to thank Katie Whirling and William Rubenstein, and my stuff is falling apart here. Okay. Not my stuff, their stuff, but
I think the Flatties undid this. Oh, creepy.
Okay. My skirt fell. Uh-oh. I hate when that happens. But again, Katie Whirling, Kathy, this is Kathy's daughter, of course. every event we have, she's always there to help. She's just the sweetest thing going.
She was fanning us earlier.
Yeah, she was literally, because it was like really warm in here as we were getting set up, and she was up here fanning us, and she's not up here fanning me now.
I was just saying, who told her she could stop?
Yeah, really. William Rubenstein, there's William over there, been helping us out at events, along with Roger and Kathy, who've been working the doors for us. Want to thank them all for helping us out. But as I do on every one of these, I have to say a very, very, very special thank you to David Gadsden, the group's coordinator from Disney Cruise Line, who works with us putting this together. I have to tell you, it is such a pleasure working with him. He is on top of everything for us. Anything we need, really has come to understand our groups, and he makes these events so much easier than they would be otherwise. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. You make these really special for us, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on, give it up, give it up, give it up. Come on. I also want to say a special thank you to Greg Seaman, who has a blog, the Sentosa Theme Park blog. Greg comes to these from Singapore. And Greg covers Universal in Singapore. And his blog is about that. His YouTube channel is about that. He made a very generous donation to Give Kids the World from the income he gets from his YouTube channel. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for that, Greg. We're going to have a link. We're going to have a link on our show notes page, podcast.wdwinfo.com, both to his blog and to his YouTube page. Go check out some of his entries and his videos. We really appreciate that generosity. That was very sweet. So that's what I've got.
Excellent. I have some thank yous as well. We did something different this cruise. We wanted you all to participate and help us create the itinerary and what was going to happen. And several of you stepped up and really made this a very special cruise. I want to thank Yvette for doing podcast bingo. Even though no one understood a word she said, it was great.
Well, no, Emil was there to translate from Yvette to English, yeah.
Jennifer George did the cabin crawl. I wasn't there for that. I heard people had a lot of fun. Carol Bowling, who organized our listener meet. Excellent job. Thank you, Carol. We have also Carol and Toby Gerber did Bunko one morning. And Laura Emmel did our pin trading meet, which was fun. Very much great fun. Christy Nasworthy organized our Adventures by Disney meet. Kathy and Teresa did a fantastic job with the Flatties.
Yeah.
Their meet was very successful. And then Tracy did our rebooking seminar, which was a lot of fun. So you guys really helped me make this a great cruise for everybody. So I thank you very much.
Awesome. Anything else? Housekeeping?
Housekeeping.
No? All right. Let's, excuse me for a second. I actually, of all the mornings of the cruise, this was the morning I woke up with a head cold. So, yeah, Dustin, enjoy using this mic. But let's go ahead and do our rapid fires. I'd actually like to go first, if I could. Right before, you guys have seen me walking around with my new camera on the cruise. The Nikon D600 I bought the day before we got on the cruise. Dustin needed something from Best Buy, and I walked out with that. But the lenses that I had for it didn't take full advantage of. This is a full frame DSLR, means I can get some amazing pictures out of it. But the lenses I had weren't compatible with that. I could still use them, but it just cropped the pictures. And I really wanted to get some new lenses. So I looked up online before we got to Grand Cayman, and sure enough, there was a camera store in Grand Cayman, and it was Mom, Dustin, and I, and it wasn't too far from the port, and we started walking, couldn't find it. That's because it had closed. It no longer existed. So we said, okay, well, whatever. I'll just wait till I get home. We went, we had lunch in this cute little restaurant right on the beach in Grand Cayman, and we asked the server, did he know of a camera store somewhere nearby, and he said, well, there is one, but it's about a 10 or 15 minute walk up the road. There were no cabs there. We were kind of far away from the port, so I had Mom with me, but she was like, God bless her. She's like, oh, I feel good. We can go for a walk. What I didn't realize were there were no sidewalks in Grand Cayman. So the three of us walking single file up the road, like refugees fleeing a burning village, trying to find Sunset House was the name of it. And let me bring it up here. I think I can do a full screen. And Sunset House is, it's like a motel, a hotel that specializes in doing like scuba tours, photo scuba tours. And in the lobby of the hotel, they have this little camera shop. And I walk in, these two really sweet young girls were in there, and I'm like, okay, well, they're not going to know an awful lot about this. And I don't really know that much either. I'm still learning. But I said, I just got this camera, and do you have any lenses for it? Well, this girl knew everything there was to know about my camera, about any camera, about the lenses. I learned more in that 5 minutes than I think I've learned in the last year about my camera. And I ended up walking out with 2 great lenses for my camera. So I wanted to make Sunset House in Grand Cayman my rapid fire. They were really helpful, and they even called a cab for us to send us back to the port because I think my mom, God bless her, I wasn't walking back. I know she wasn't walking back. They were really great, and so I thought I would make Sunset House and their awesome staff of camera experts my rapid fire.
Excellent.
Yeah. Kevin, what do you have?
My rapid fire is about Remy Brunch. If you haven't tried it, you should. We tried it the last cruise, Podcast Cruise 3.0, and at that point, for every course you got a glass of champagne. Well, I don't drink, so I came out of brunch positively toasted. And then I had to go to the Diz Unplugged auction, and Teresa yelled at me and poked me in the chest and told me I wasn't doing things the right way. This time we went, and now what they're doing is if you want to add the champagne matching, that's an extra thing. But it's 4 courses, and one of the courses they told us when we sat down, we were going to get lentils, mustard foam, and a soft-boiled egg. And I thought, doesn't that sound good? However, I think if they had turned their head, I would have licked the plate. It was that good. So if you haven't tried it, next cruise.
Is it too late?
Well, because they've all rebooked, right? Yeah. You've all rebooked, right? Yeah. Tracy's down here. Try it on your next cruise. Remy Brunch, it's amazing. You think you're never going to get full because they bring you out tiny bites of food, but somehow it all works. It's one of the most amazing things on the cruise. Give it a shot.
And can I also say that I don't know about anybody else. My experience in the dining rooms has been incredible. The food has been awesome.
I've had escargot for dessert every night. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people out here who can't agree with us, but I think for the most part, people are. I think okay. Good. I think the food on this ship seemed to be much better
than the Dream.
Than on the Dream.
And the
I thought the food on the Dream was much better. I think the food on the Dream and the Fantasy are much better than they are on the Magic and the Wonder. But that's why I said to somebody yesterday, really send people over to the Magic and the Wonder and help them. They need help. But no, this has been superb. This has been absolutely superb. So thank you, Kevin. John.
My rapid fire is always a few weeks before we do one of these cruises, I get a little crazy. A little. Just a little bit. Who let her
Liars.
in? So one of the things that happens is right before the cruise, we print out the manifest of who's coming. And I started to get really excited because there's a lot of people on this cruise I really like a lot. So I was very excited. I told Kevin, I can't believe it. We're going on this cruise. Look who's going with us. Two of our very good friends are traveling with us, and it's Roger and Kathy, who we mentioned in our thank yous. Good friends of ours, and also always a big help. I think Roger might have had a head injury this cruise. We get upstairs and we're having dinner and we're talking about where we've eaten already, and he said, "Oh, I had a great meal. It was an animator's cabin." So I had this vision of Kathy turning on cartoons and ordering room service and telling him he was in a really nice restaurant. And I just imagine that the next night was probably on Enchanted Balcony. That's my rapid fire.
Thank you, John. Corey.
I want to encourage everybody after this cruise to go in and put your stateroom reports on the Diz. Firsthand, we're on deck 10 mid, and it sounds like there's a basketball game happening every night. So it was a mission for me to find out what was above our room on deck 11. Wasn't a basketball court, wasn't even a dance floor. It was the drink stations. Apparently, people are really excited to get drinks.
They run.
So they're
they jump,
jumping
they
and
skip.
clapping, but it's 24 hours a day. So I should have looked at this before. I chose the room. It wasn't Tracy's fault.
Yeah.
It was my fault. But I encourage everybody to go.
So glad I have someone to blame that on.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that anytime someone flushes a toilet in their room, it goes right over our head.
I don't like to complain because Disney cruises are fabulous. We always have a great time. But I told him, I said, I want to go and strangle whoever is running above our room. Because it's like 1 a.m. So it was probably a child.
When they pick up the chairs, so you hear everything. So it's nice to have a room above you. And
if you don't have a choice, bring
deck 11.
earplugs. Yeah.
So, another highlight has been Ferris has really enjoyed taking his clothes off everywhere.
Like father, like son.
Whether
I actually think he gets it from me.
so the dining
See what we
interest
did?
of family.
Second dining?
I see that.
I'm telling you.
little nude Ferris. So I think his new favorite characters are Chippendale. So
Don't encourage him.
We're not joking. We picked him up from the nursery, and he was shirtless. And she said, I kept putting it back on, but he kept taking it back off, and he would go and throw it over the gate that separates the entrance from the main nursery area and be like, ha, 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 now you have to go get it.
that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Corey. Julie.
Okay, well, mine's about nursery etiquette somewhat, and mainly for the parent who is not signing the child in or out. Don't go to the gate and wave to your children before they are allowed to come out. Because if you do that, Corey, they stand there and they scream and they cry because they can't get to you until, they swipe your card, they ask for your password, get everything signed out, and then they will release the children.
So for 10 minutes, I'm looking at them like they're in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to get you. It's okay. Hurry, Julie. We're going to get you. It's fine. Hurry, Julie.
We had this problem on the last cruise, and I told him, I'm like, don't go to the gate. And sure enough, he did. So after that first time, now he stands in the little mirror that's one way and just watches them.
That's great.
And once he gets the okay, he goes to the gate.
So that's hashtag naked crying Ferris.
Oh, look who's on Twitter now.
John has 9 followers more than me. I want to know why.
He knows how to use hashtags.
I actually think he's making up accounts.
Just saying.
Oh, there's so much I could do with this right now, but I'm not going to. Hashtags. Oh. Yeah, well, you can follow all of us, I think. Well,
No.
Julie's not on.
I don't Twitter.
Yeah.
She's not a twit. The rest of us are twits. On the show notes page, podcast.wdwinfo.com, links to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
He
Foursquares.
Foursquare.
I don't even know.
Corey's got a gun to my head. Start using this stuff. But, yeah, so John's on Twitter. It is a sign that the world will end on the 23rd of December. But I got to tell you, this has really been. I mean, they're all great cruises. I love doing this 7-night itinerary.
It's been awesome.
I really do. Not the Western, but I love being on the ship for 7 days. It really has been.
We're able to relax
a lot better. We are going to do Podcast Cruise 5.0 in 2014. It will be a 7-night. We don't know exactly when yet, but there will be a 5.0. There will be a 5.0 in 2014.
Should it be mandatory that on all 7-day cruises, like right after the boat drill, there's an elevator etiquette class for people?
Yes. You can help teach it.
Okay, yeah.
You can't get on the elevator until everybody else gets off.
Exactly.
And yield to strollers, wheelchairs, and ECVs. Did I say that right? Or EVCs? Whatever.
ECVs, Bob. One of the other highlights of this cruise certainly was yesterday with that amazing presentation that was given by our special guest, Dave Smith. And we'd like to invite Dave to come up and talk to us for a few minutes, if you would, Dave. Dave Smith, everybody. I'm caught on something. Just go ahead and put that on. There you go.
Like that?
There you go.
It only hurts for a minute.
We're actually just sucking all your brainwaves out.
Pretty
So
sure
all the secrets of the archives are mine. Well, welcome, Dave. Thank you again for coming on board and doing that presentation. One of the what for you? What is your prize? The prize piece that you have in the archives?
The things I like the most in the archives are the things related to Walt Disney himself, because these are the types of things that most collectors can't expect or hope to have in their own collections. And so if I had to narrow it down to one piece, we have a postcard that Walt wrote to his mother in 1917 when he was 15 years old. She's over in St. Louis taking care of her brother who's ill, and Walt writes and says he got 100 in his grammar that day. Up in the corner of the page of the postcard, he's written, P.S. 10 below here. And you turn the postcard over and he's done a drawing of a man in an overcoat looking up on the wall to a thermometer and seeing the 10 below flashing. And it's an amazing drawing. And a lot of people have said that Walt was not an accomplished artist, but you see a drawing like this by a 15-year-old, he had art talent.
How much more do you have to do in your career to be considered accomplished? You talk about things collectors have in their, things collectors can't get. Are there occasions where collectors find things and they offer them to the archives, or do collectors just pretty much have there been things in private collections that you wanted to get your hands on and couldn't?
Well, let me say that the answer to that question has changed drastically over the last 40 years. One of the biggest changes, of course, was the advent of eBay.
Yeah.
The other big change was the advent of price guides to Disneyana. Prior to that time, you could go to a flea market and you could get real bargains.
Like $18 for that Donald Duck.
Like $18 for that 1934 Donald Duck. But after the price guides and eBay came along, people became aware of what values things had. And so it was very difficult from then on to ever find a bargain.
So Disney is outbidding me on eBay.
Well, is Disney buying things on eBay, or are they?
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, okay.
Corey's making assumptions.
Even in the early days, we weren't doing a lot of buying because we didn't want to compete with the collectors, but I'd go out to the flea markets and antique toy shows and things like that, and find a few pieces to put in the archives. We don't search eBay to look for things to buy. However, if there is something specific we're looking for, we might look there.
Mm-hmm.
We had a chance to visit the Disney Family Museum, and we were impressed with how much ephemera there was out there. Did Walt have some kind of foresight to keep this stuff, or was he just a hoarder? Beep. Beep, he's a hoarder.
I think he was just a hoarder, and I don't know if it was as much he himself, but his family. Most of the things that are in the Family Museum are actually the property of the family. They have gone onto eBay, and you may be bidding against them.
Okay.
Because they have quite a bit of money, and they're able to spend a lot of money for the things that they really want. So I don't know specifically what they've acquired on eBay, but I do know that they do some buying there.
There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of strange documentation that was kept. And it almost, maybe there was a warehouse he kept it in. Did you guys stumble across any kind of jackpot of stored items?
You know, like Tutankhamun's tomb.
The family, which the family company was Retlaw, which is Walter spelled backwards, and they had an office and they had a warehouse, and at some point in the past, someone stole a box of material out of that warehouse, and practically every one of the Walt Disney checks that you see for sale, wow, or the Walt Disney signed documents that you see for sale came out of that box.
Wow.
Is there ever the possibility that the archives will become a museum?
Bob Iger, head of the Walt Disney Company, has said publicly that it would be nice if the company had a museum someday. In the early days of the archives, we certainly did not consider ourselves a museum, and in fact that was not part of our reason for being at all. We weren't collecting a lot of museum objects. People were coming to the archives to get information. However, in the last 5 or 6 years, after Bob Iger said it'd be nice to do a museum someday, they decided maybe they better start collecting some actual museum objects. So that's when they started being much more diligent in collecting props and costumes from the current films that were being made. So that created a need for space, and we had to add a couple of warehouses at that time. We had 2 things happen during that period. The Disney Studio shut down their prop department, and they gave the archives the opportunity to go in there first and pick out anything that we wanted, that we recognized as being from a Disney film. And we must have spent a month going through that prop department, selecting things for our collection. At the same time, the company decided to shut down the wardrobe department, the costume department. So again, we had permission to go in and select any of the costumes we wanted. After we'd done that, they changed their mind and did not shut down the costume department. But by then, we had what we wanted out of there. So the collection has grown a lot in museum objects in the last 6 or 7 years.
Now, Dave, how many books have you written?
The current book, Disney Trivia from the Vault, I believe is the 9th.
9 books.
Now that's counting 3 different editions of Disney A to Z.
Which is tough to find sometimes.
I know, and we're hoping someday that we'll get an electronic edition of Disney A to Z out there. I actually have it on my computer, and so
can I have it?
The day that someone is willing to publish it, it will be available.
I'll publish it. It has been it's been great having you with us both this time and back in July. Dave very generously sat for lunch with our ABD group at the Backstage Magic trip, which was awesome. Getting a chance to hear about the history that's in the archives, the history that Dave preserved. The reason that it's there is because Dave worked so hard to preserve it. On behalf of all Disney fans, thank you for doing that. We really do appreciate it. Now we're going to take a 15 to 20 minute break, come back with the rest of the team, and another announcement. Ooh. We ain't done yet. So again, thank you very much, Dave Smith. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back here in 20 minutes.